Hello, I am Dr. Lisa Wiedemann, and I am back again with some more sauces and dips as a part two from last week's live. And mainly because there were a couple really staple sauces that I really wanted to show you because they're so versatile to expand these into a lot of different flavors and to incorporate them with different meats and seafood that you might want to put them on. So the first that I'm going to get to is this, I just call it a mayo substitute. And you can make this as thick or as thin as you want. You can make it a dipping sauce or make it a little thicker and actually make it as a spread on like a egg wrap or on a burger kind of thing. So this is so simple. And then I'm going to show you how you vary it. So what you're going to, let's see, I guess I got to move you over. All right. So, and here I put the examples of how we're going to vary this into a taco sauce, a ranch one, a seafood one. You can do a curry version, an herb version, or I know it's pronounced, I think, gyro, but we call it gyro, right? So let me just give the quick rundown of the basics of it. So it is a brick of cream cheese, and it is also sour cream. And you're going to find what you prefer, but a 1-to-1 ratio as far as ounces. So an 8-ounce brick of cream cheese and 8 ounces of sour cream, which is half of one of those like small containers. And you want to make sure you've either taken the cream cheese out well ahead of time. I usually take it out hours before, or you can warm it up a little bit in the microwave. And then to that, I just add about a juice from half of a lemon. And I measured it out, but it's a little less than 1/8 of a cup. And once you've done that, you'll see it is about, it's going to drop off, about the consistency of mayonnaise. And you'll see. And if you want it a little bit looser, like I said, you just add a little more sour cream. And if you want it thicker, and it will set up in the refrigerator because I will make this ahead of time and then sometimes have it in the refrigerator for a while. But this is where you can go a little bit crazy on this. You can make your own homemade taco seasoning. I happen to like this Primal Palette brand. They make organic, really clean spices and seasonings. So they have a really good taco seasoning one. They have a nice seafood one, but feel free to make your own. Also, you can just use Old Bay or an Old Bay and curry mixture, which is one of my favorites. I also really, there's a couple spice mixtures. If you watch me, you know I totally love the REDMONDS seasoned salt. This stuff's amazing. And this keto rubs, I think if I was held to being on a deserted island and could only take a couple spices with me, it would be the REDMONDS seasoned salt and this herb salt from Keto Rub. They also make, which this would make an amazing sauce, they make a fire one, salty heat, and you can experiment with all sorts of different ones. I don't know if any of you have had that TAJIN, but that's really a delicious one. It's just lime, cayenne pepper, and salt mixture. But if you want to put this on, let's say, make a fajita wrap with those egg life wraps, and make this with that TAJIN It's really good. Also, one of my other favorites is using the black truffle salt, and that makes a delicious accent to that. And then also Redmond's has a really great selection of smoked salts, a cherry, a hickory, and a chef's blend. That also really, really good. So what we're going to do is think about what we're putting it on. If I make lamb chops and or ground lamb, then they have, the Primal Palette has this super gyro one, which is pink salt, oregano, marjoram, thyme, and garlic. And it just gives it that kind of Greek flair to it. And they also make a garden ranch, but you can also, I think in one of my, I think I actually was prepared and put it in the notes of this. I put a, I think it's a ranch. It's a ranch, make your own ranch dressing. So thank you all for joining me here live. Oh, Tammy, I'm sorry you're fasting. Maybe you should just watch this on a replay on the day that you start feasting. Yeah, I think I messed up, Christina. When I set this up, it did say 9:30, but yeah, I just messed up. I forgot to toggle the timer down. Okay, so question for me right now. Oh, so let me also mention the other big alternatives that you can do, which I love, is just put some crumbled blue cheese in there and make a blue cheese dressing. Or you can make a pepper parmesan. So either put white pepper or black pepper, and then just some of your local grated parmesan right into there. And like I said, this is something where you have to just be totally creative and think about what you're trying to pair it with. And if you're doing it on a burger, to me, like any of what I just went over, it would be fabulous on a burger, even the Greek gyro one and the Mexican Tajin one, and the taco seasoning one. It's all just really awesome to throw either on or mix in with ground beef that when you're making it. I got to think about what I'm going to do right now. I think I'm just going to throw in some, I think I'm going to do Redmond's seasoned salt and come up with a nice, I just kind of called this like not mayo substitute, but I'm going to do a teaspoon. I love my magnetic measuring spoons here. I'm going to do a full teaspoon in here and then just mix that up, and then you're done. So you can keep this in containers. So I like to just have a set of these. I think they come in a set of 12. I keep them in a drawer, and everything goes in here, like leftover hollandaise, extra of this, and I just use these as my little storage containers. So this looks really good. You can kind of see a little bit of the speckles of the seasoning in there, of course. It's really good. Now, if you're not eating dairy, I'm sorry. Because this is one of those really simple, easy ways to solve the problem when people say, I need something with my, there's mustard. I know it's not pure carnivore either, neither are spices, but personally, I don't care about that. So you don't have to bother writing in the comments. Neither is lemon juice. I'm aware of that too. But it adds a nice little pungent spike into the flavor of this. And like I said, so simple. I think that you need to have like a base of your favorite spices, and then and also you can throw in some hot sauce. You can throw in a little horseradish, but all these things just have at hand. Just kind of gather them all into a basket by your stove and just figure out what you're in the mood for. and I will just put those into those glass containers. Okay, so the next thing that we are getting to, because let's see, did I go over all of that? Taco, seafood, curry, herb, and the gyro. Okay, so for this one, I actually pre-recorded a video of myself making it because I wanted to be able to, hopefully if I get this right, mute it at the part where I'm using my stick blender. And just because I know some people are going to ask, I don't even have it in here, do I? I have a cordless stick blender that I will put a link. I think I actually did. Here it is. So with this one, it has plenty of power, even it being cordless. And I like the fact that you can also put on a whisk attachment to it. So just those real quick and easy times to when you want to whisk something. All right, so let me put up the video. I'm going to show you now, start to finish, how quick, simple, and easy it is to make a Hollandaise sauce. And I'm going to show you how I'm actually going to make this meal. So I am here. This is how I freeze my ground beef. I actually just put a section of it from the package in here, and then I flatten it down with my hand and then put it in the freezer, and then I just mark that it was 80-20 and take it out from frozen and put it right into the air fryer. And I like my burgers pretty rare, so from frozen, about 8 minutes at 370 as a guess. I don't know, it's not really that critical. So for the sauce, I have butter melting. It's a stick of butter, and I'm going to take that out and slowly drizzle it into a container. So here I have a stick blender, and just put this out of the way. This is a cordless one. It comes in a nice little case, and I have a glass beaker here. We're going to put in 2 egg yolks. Okay, and 1 teaspoon of water and 1 teaspoon of fresh squeezed lemon juice. And to that, we're going to add the butter. All right, the butter needs to be pretty hot with this method. This is very simple and easy. So I just take a instant read thermometer, and it's about 215. I try to get it to about 215 to 220. And we are just going to slowly drizzle that into the mixture. All right, now with this, I have to say it's really pretty neat because you don't have to put it over a double boiler system to keep the mixture warm while you're doing this. It actually starts cooking the yolk while you're pouring that real hot butter in. And you'll see by the time you finish pouring the butter in, it's gotten very thick. And I'm going to put that back on. Trying to see if I can get it to be a little more magnified, but and you can see it makes a really creamy, delicious sauce, and I will pour that over the burger or steak. The only additional thing that you add at this point is you can add a pinch of salt. I like to do about 1/8 of a teaspoon, and you can play around with this at this point. I'm going to put in this black truffle salt. It tastes really great with any sort of variation. You can put a little of the REDMONDS seasoned salt in it, but I'm going to just do a little truffle salt. And that's it. And then we will put this right over the burger, and let me see if the burger's probably not quite done yet, but this is a ceramic air fryer. I'm gonna turn this up to 400. Like I said, I like mine really rare, so that's about it for me. All right, so that's all there is to it. It is incredibly simple. I find with some of the other methods, it is very easy to mess up as far as the emulsification part of it, and it gets lumpy or it separates. But this has been a real foolproof method. Just make sure you get that butter heated up pretty hot, and drizzle it in slowly, and I haven't failed with it yet. So the other thing that I was going to go over with this dip was, I forgot to say, it's an amazing dip for pork rinds. I don't want to get anybody into a new addiction, but you know, if everybody else is hanging around doing nachos grande or popcorn, it's nice to have something as a treat that you can have. Another sauce I'm just going to go over real quickly, because I do have people ask, what about yogurt? And you can take this, and let me put up my slide here. So with this yogurt, you can make a great sauce, and it doesn't necessarily have to be for lamb, but to me, when you make like a gyro sauce, I showed you that Primal palette. It comes in a larger package too, and I happen to really like mixing the yogurt with some fresh lemon juice. I have sort of the recipe up there, and a couple teaspoons of that seasoning. And again, it's so ideal for putting on something like a pork chop or lamb, even ground lamb, make a ground lamb burger and put this on. So Dr. Kiltz had negative words this morning about pork rinds. Yeah, he talked about the pork rinds at the meetup right here in my kitchen and had the discussion that that it's basically a glycohelix shell of, but you know what, guys? Here's the thing. I'm not eating ring dings and Pop Tarts and cookies and ice cream. Okay. So I'm going to have at my pork rinds when I want to have some pork rinds. We're not eating it as a full meal. We're not eating it instead of a steak or instead of having your nutritious meal. This is something that when we start talking about picking at every little aspect, we can go a little bit crazy thinking and overthinking things. And just like I said, you know, people will pick at me as far as, well, the lemon juice in there is not carnivore. Okay, that's my reply. I'm not eating donuts and cookies and ice cream anymore. And lemon juice is just fine for me. So, you know, it's the old, you do you, I'll do me. Again, I get the, I remember listening very intently to him have a conversation about what a pork rind actually is, but literally it is fat and the skin of the pig, and it's fried out in its own fat when it's made properly. And whatever that remnant shell is when it's cooked out, it's okay. It's okay, guys. We're not eating processed food, chips, popcorn, and seed oil. So that's my take on it. But I don't discount what he says about it. Haven't really gone down the rabbit hole on pork rinds, nor will I, because again, this is not the mainstay of our diet. So let's reel it in, take a deep breath, and enjoy your pork rinds when you want to have some pork rinds. Okay, baby girl? That's, but if you want to take a specific aspect of this to heart as far as, ooh, okay, I shouldn't have pork rinds either. And heck, go to Lion Diet. Just eat ruminant meat, salt, and water. I mean, that's really clearly the answer, right, to ideal, perfect carnivore. But I think that we have to really think hard about the sustainability of this and the feeling that we can do things with the way we eat that kind of normalize it a little bit for us. And, you know, somebody could say, well, why don't you just have nachos every so often? Well, there's a hard no for putting seed oils in my body. If you've seen my prior videos, I think that you understand for sure that there's certain areas where we draw the line, but pork rinds isn't one of them. So I did put up this final slide here. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe and share. And I have an exciting new little venture I'm doing just to concentrate just on visual and ocular health, so that people who find me through those type videos can have a separate place to really watch. I'm going to do my inaugural video for that channel, which I have 0 subscribers. So if somebody wants to run over and be the first subscriber, it's called Carnivore Eye Doctor. But what I'll call the inaugural video is going to be floaters, explained and treatment. So it's all going to be about eye floaters. I get so many questions about that, and I want to do a really great concise video so you understand about them, and also some people's anecdotal stories, testimonials about different aspects of their eye health improving with carnivore, and even some floaters going away. And then also some options. There is actually another treatment option that is not really talked about that much that I will go in there. Christina says, gotta have the tzatziki flavor with lamb. Yeah, so I did look into that tzatziki, but it's the chopped cucumber and either like shallots or onions and a very distinct garlic. And so I think that just stretches it a little bit on the carnivore side of it, as far as somebody really coming down on me of like, what am I doing here? That's plants. But you can make, I'm fine with spices. And I know realistically, ideally, garlic can be an issue for people. So then you don't use it. But, a little bit of powdered or dehydrated garlic is fine for me. So I could actually make a tzatziki with onion powder, garlic powder, lemon, and the yogurt. And so there it goes. There you guys go. You have a bonus sauce right now. You can do a tzatziki like that, and just do it minus a cucumber, or you can very finely chop a little cucumber in there too. If you're not, you could be carnivore-ish and get away with that. So thank you so much for joining. I will probably be doing a Q&A coming up in my next live that I'm going to ask you all ahead of time. If you could leave comments here, if you have specific questions. I always ask my Instagram following family for questions ahead of time. And I'm going to do on this channel, I don't know, maybe I'll do it next week. I'm going to do a live that is going to have testimonials and anecdotal information from people who have turned to carnivore for other reasons and then have gone to their eye doctor and had some big changes. That I like to report that, because so many people come to me and say, can carnivore cure glaucoma? Can carnivore get rid of my glasses? Can carnivore, well, the only way, if I have a patient who sits in my chair who has, let's say, borderline pressure in their eyes, borderline glaucoma, what we call glaucoma suspect, if for me as an eye doctor to tell that person sitting there, there's a potential, there has been some testimonies of people's pressure reducing by eating this fully carnivorous animal-based way of eating. They're going to look at me like I had two heads. They're not going to stick to it. And I'm going to have no information. They'll come back 6 months later for their follow-up pressure check. How'd you do? Well, I don't know. You mean really no bread? You guys get it. But that's why I have collected over the past couple of years a lot of information from people who have, I say you have to have that why that makes you cry to make you go down this road of figuring this all out. So yeah, I have had a lot of people report reduction in their eyeglass prescription, almost some to the point where they don't need their glasses anymore, some with dramatic improvements with recurrent corneal erosion, which is a very painful, kind of debilitating recurrent issue to have that sometimes goes hand in hand with dry eye, and people with recurrent chalazion or styes, all sorts of different things that I have I'm going to work in this next week until the live next Tuesday, putting together a lot of the information, and I'm going to hopefully present it so that you'll get a really good understanding about what people have had that has dramatically improved with their, and a lot of them will say, I've been carnivore for 1 year, 6 months, 18 months, 2 years, whatever it is. So you might have an idea after watching that, that there's going to be some hope for some of you who suffer from a lot of different issues with your eyes. So, all right. So leave a comment, and that would be great so that I don't know over here on YouTube how else to get information for those who aren't on Instagram. So I think here in the comments section will work great. And I look forward to seeing you all next Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed this quick little dip and cream sauces. And you can tell me how you varied it and enjoyed it, and leave me a message. And I'm sure I'll have a part 3 somewhere down the line. So thanks for joining. Hopefully see you next week.